Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm super excited to be here today with Mindy Eggen, who is going to be an instructor at the March Mindfulness Retreat. Very, very exciting. So let's find out more. Before we get into that, though, let me remind you today is the last day to get it at the discounted price of $165. It is beyond worth it at full price, but Altenew knows you love to save, and so do we. So there's a discount code mindful Mindy 18, and that will get your spot reserved for $165. And today is that last day. So if somebody's looking for a last minute gift for you, what a wonderful idea and gift to have. We'll go over in a few minutes what's in the kit. But first, let's welcome. Hello, Mindy. How are you today?
Good. Hi. I'm so excited to be here.
And welcome Sherry from snowy Georgia. We just got snow in Maine. It's still here a little bit, but So oh, very excited. Oh, good. You got signed up today, Irene. How exciting. So, Mindy, how did you introduce yourself? How did you get into crafting? That kind of thing.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm Mindy Eggen, and my name on Instagram and my handles and stuff is Mindy Eggen Design. And how I got into crafting, it was funny. I really had to think about this, because I've always been kind of crafty. I've always done stuff in school, kind of things like that. But I think way, way back where it first started was I made my own wedding invitations for my first marriage.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was like, oh, this is going to be so much cheaper than buying invitations. It's like everybody says that when they make a card, it'll be so much cheaper. And then I made 400 of them. So it was very ugly.
Wow.
It was just a heat embossed image with vellum on top with words. And I made 400 of them. I don't know who showed me how to heat emboss, but I think that was like my first real kind of crafty project. And that was back in 2001. And then I dabbled in card making here and there. And then somewhere along the line, I got into Close to My Heart. And I did that for probably a good 5 years, workshops and kits and things like that. But it was a lot of scrapbooking. I didn't want anything to do with cards. I did scrapbooking. And I got out of that for a while. And then I kind of trickled back in after, I don't even know what video I saw. Probably a Jennifer McGuire video, probably.
Yes. Yes. She is the crafty gateway. She really is the crafty gateway.
She is. And I know when I saw it, she was using the Misty. And at the time, I was like, what is this magical tool? Because I left the stuff when they were blocks.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what is this? And then everything snowballed from there. Hi, everyone. Yes, I did chop my hair. I did that last week. So yeah, kind of got a little cold back there. It's not a good idea to cut your hair in Wisconsin, but
in Maine either. I just got mine cut and she goes, how long do you want it? I'm like, oh no, we need to keep it warm.
Oh yeah, it's a little chilly back here, but
you need a scarf now.
Yeah, neck warmers. You could see me messing with my hood to keep my neck warm.
You need a neck warmer. That's the thing. I think you just created a neck warmer. I've never heard of one. I think you just created it right here. Neck warmers.
So yes, I think that was kind of how it started. It just, when I kind of re-entered everything, I don't even know how many years ago that was, but kind of re-entered probably about 5 years ago, something like that. And just kind of built from there to what I do now.
And it's somebody else had said, I can't remember who I interviewed, but somebody else I interviewed said they went to make wedding invitations because they thought it was going to be cheaper.
Oh yeah.
And then it snowballed quickly. And I think like 400, that's gotta be like some record, like 400. Holy Toledo.
Yeah. And the thing is, that wasn't even me. That was all him. He's like, we need this person. We need that person. I'm like, can you just tell him?
Can we just give him a sticky note?
And my husband now, I'm like, we're like, we're going to Vegas. We don't need anybody. We're going to Vegas. And we did. So,
Keeping it small.
oh yeah. Had a party later, but I was like, just text everybody. I'm not making invites.
It's all about the party after in
It
in
is
a wa
anyway.
in a way, it's, yeah,
Done and
yeah.
over with. We can just have fun now.
Now the retreat package. So we can talk about that for a quick minute. We'll talk hot minute.
Mhm.
There are so many goodies in there that are wonderful. Now there are two kits that include the 4x6 stamp sets. They're similar. They're not Craft Your Life. They're similar though in that it's a 4x6 stamp set, a die, embossing folder, and the stencil, and it all coordinates. So nice little kit. There's two of those. One is called the Sunny Flowers Complete Bundle. The other is Truly Amazing, which it is truly amazing. It's a perfect name for that. You also get a set of the Woodland Escape Fresh Dye Mini Inks that were just released. Those are brand spanking new. A set of the Gilded Glitter cardstock. And this is a full set, full package, not a piece, full package of the hot foil, the brushed gold, and 10 sheets of the double-sided adhesive, a full roll of the ultra sticky tape in the 1/2 inch size, a set of A2 card bases. There are 12, so get the whole day. We got 12 hours, 12 bases, and then some sequins. So keeping that in mind, and I know you've been looking at it, kind of thinking, what's the first one that you're like, I have to, the second I get that is the one I'm creating with.
I don't remember the name of it. I just remember opening the email and I seen the 2 pictures and it was the second one in my email, but I don't
I
remember the name
believe that's the
of
Truly Amazing.
it.
I'm
Okay,
pretty
I can't
sure that's the Truly
remember.
Amazing. Yeah.
I mean, they're both great, but it's like, ooh, my attention span shifts that way a little bit for some reason.
Now, when designing, where do you get inspiration from?
Oh, um, honestly, probably a lot of Instagram. When I get bored, I kind of will go through Instagram, whether it's colors that somebody used or or if I know my colors but I'm stuck on a layout like
Mhm.
using flowers. I feel like I repeat the same layout all the time, so I'll be like, oh, okay, what else can I do? So I kind of look there, I try to see, okay, they did this, but I'm gonna use these colors with this stamp set and maybe I'll tweak. I mean, it always gets tweaked because nothing ever comes out exactly the way I want it to, but
No.
honestly, probably a lot of Instagram.
That's and I unfortunately a lot of Instagram is deep dives, meaning you go to look at one thing
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
like, "Oh, look at this card. No, look at this card. No, look at this
Yes.
card." So it goes pretty quickly. What is something that you're always gonna feel like, oh, Sherry says she loves your coloring videos as oh,
Thank
yeah,
you.
we're all on that side as well. But what is something that you feel will always be something you're working on, something to improve in your crafty skills?
Watercoloring seems to always be the one that I don't do, but I think it's beautiful. I attempt it every now and then, but it seems like I need a running start. Like I get halfway through the project, I'm like, oh, now I like it. It
Yeah.
takes, and because I know it takes me so long to find that happy spot, that I know that means I need more work because it
Yeah.
always seems to take me a while. But it's kind of one of those things you need to practice it more in order to get better. And I just don't practice it that much.
Yeah. And I
So,
think we talked about before, patience is a big part of watercolor, I think, as well.
yeah.
And that's,
Yeah.
I know that's a hard part of watercolor is
Yeah.
being
We
able to let
talked.
it
I
do
don't
what
have
it
patience.
wants. Watercolor does what it wants, and that's the other hard piece of it too, I think. So, yeah, it's a toughie to do that. What is your go-to technique? We talked a little bit about this before, but what's your go-to?
Ink blending, which I'm sure some of these people are not surprised. If I'm ever stuck, it's just ink blend. Just grab some colors, ink blend, and things will come together. And there's cards that I've made where I didn't even color the flowers. Like I
Yeah.
left them white. I was like, well, that looks pretty awesome, just like that. Very graphic. So I don't
Yeah.
know. There's just something about adding whether it's bold colors or just a light brush of ink that just really sets the foundation of the card.
So that's leads perfectly. We know you're into the ink blending. Do you prefer ombre or solid backgrounds?
Ah, ombre. Ombre. I
Ombre
mean,
has
solid
steals
is
the heart.
great too, but I feel like if I'm gonna have a solid panel, I might as well have just grabbed colored cardstock,
Yeah.
which is great
Yeah.
too. I mean, I use colored cardstock for ink blending to
Yes.
create ombre ombre looks, but
Yeah.
I just like the variation of color.
And it just it's there's something about it. It's this and it's almost the softness, I think. Even if your colors are bold, there's a softness to it, which a lot of
Mhm.
times really helps your if it's a floral on there, it really helps your floral. Like you said, you can just have a plain floral and you have that beautiful background in the back. And I think that lends it to it, all that beautiful ink blending. What colors do you like to blend? What are your favorite colors to go to?
Oh, I should have thought about this one a little more. Well, it depends on the time of year, actually,
Yeah.
because right now I really love purples and teals. But you get more towards the summery type of thing, and I'll probably go more towards yellows and pinks or yellows and reds. And really, if I'm just stuck and don't know what else to do, it's, all else fails, use a rainbow. But rainbows,
Yes.
even that can be fun because, turn your cardstock, start with purple, and that can change up the look. Or instead of red, use pink. Instead of a blue, use teal. So, I mean, there's so much that can happen with a rainbow.
And I like that you said that, like, if your crafty mojo is stuck, that was a good so that's what you do, so a rainbow is the answer to the crafty mojo, right? Is that
Pretty much. Yeah,
yeah,
pretty much. Or start in the middle, or start with blue, what, red, orange, yellow, green, blue,
I always have to do the
blue
old
purple.
Roy. I have to go to Roy.
Oh, wait, let me say it out loud. It's like counting on my fingers.
I do.
Start in the
It's like
start
when
in
they ask
the
you the last
middle.
word of your phone number, you're like, "Hold on." Ah.
It is. Yeah, start in the middle, chop it in half, go from there.
'Cause, yeah, we all have those days where you look at the paper and it's not happening. It's
No,
just not
especially if you're behind like I
yeah.
normally am. I procrastinate.
I
So
was
if
just
I'm
gonna say, are you a procrastinator? Do you do your best work under pressure?
I honestly do. It's like you don't have if you well, not that I'm encouraging procrastination,
No.
but if you do in your last minute, I mean, you don't have time to sit and change your mind. And that's my problem is I do something, I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I'll do something else. But
Yeah.
when you got to get it done, you don't have time to change your mind and reorganize. And sometimes the first thing you come up with is going to be the best.
Yeah.
So,
And that's options sometimes are overwhelming,
yeah. Oh,
because
they
you have
are.
so many inks, you have so much of this, you have so much of that. So sometimes, and I think you're either born a procrastinator or you're not. I don't know if you can become one. I think it's just
No,
inborn. I don't know, but like you said, you don't really have the option to use the options. You have to just barrel through,
I
like a
can't
bull in a
change my
china shop.
feathers. It's like I keep telling people, I'm like, I'm gonna get better next year. I'm gonna be better. No, no. 5 years later, I'm not any better.
And I think after a while it becomes a skill. So
Well, it's just me over here the day before.
So we're gonna play a fun this or that because Altony loves to do the this or that. So let's play a fun game of
What?
this
Did you warn
or
me about this?
I did, yeah. I
Oh,
did.
shoot, I wasn't listening. It's my other thing.
We
I don't listen.
we had such a lovely chat before and we found out we're very, very similar. So we had a lovely chat. So some of the questions she knew, but some are a little surprise. So
Oh,
what are we gonna go with? Vibrant rainbows or pastel rainbows?
vibrant.
Gold or silver?
Gold. Well, I like silver better, but gold pops more. So, gold.
It's like, is platinum an option?
Yeah.
And are you a foil all the things or glitter all the things kind of gal?
Foil all the things.
Glitter. I mean,
I
it
mean,
goes
it's pretty.
it
It's
goes
and
everywhere.
I glitter things, but no, you give me foil, I'll do that before glitter.
And besides ink blending, what else comes to mind? So if you can't ink blend something, what's your
Ugh,
next technique you go to?
good question. I'm That's gonna take me longer to think about than my when I started. Um, probably coloring, I guess,
Yeah.
with alcohol markers. I mainly use alcohol markers. I don't use a lot of water base, but probably coloring.
And the final component, I forgot this one before. The final component, critter or floral?
Oh, oh. We talked about this.
We did, and we
That
decided that this question is unanswerable, but I'm
it is.
posing it anyways.
I can't do it. I can't pick. I can't pick. That's too hard to pick. I
What
love
if you
them
put a
both.
critter
If
in a flower?
it depends on my mood. I can't pick. Yeah, put a critter on the flower.
We'll have a ladybug on a flower. That works. Right? A
Yeah,
ladybug's a critter, I think.
totally. They could work.
What is the one crafty trend you love, and the one crafty trend you're like, "Ugh, I don't know."
Oh. Well, the
And
crafty
how?
trend right now, that one I think I already answered. That was foiling. Loving the
Yes.
foiling. I don't know if there's one I'm not a fan of. I mean, I'll play with things, and it doesn't mean I don't like them, but there's like the foiling just gets me more. But I don't know if there's one I don't like.
Is there a technique that you're like, I could do it, but I don't know. I like for me anything really messy. Like I have difficulty
Mhm.
with like everybody loves the jelly plate things.
Oh
I
yeah.
to me I'm like, oh god, like
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna have
love it.
paint
Messy.
everywhere. Oh no, like
I love
panic when I
mess.
yeah, just when I hear that I'm like,
Yes.
so
When if I'm going to do messy, I love messy. But
yeah.
if I'm working on clean and simple, then no, I get very I had somebody comment one time about how delicate or careful I was in a video I did one time. I'm like, "Well, yeah, because I have a lot of white space and I don't wanna get fingerprints on it because I'm good at that." So, like, depends on the card, but I'm sure there probably is something that I steer clear of, but I can't think of it.
That's
I
good
don't
though.
consciously think about it.
It's it's wonderful to try all the techniques and all the things because you don't know what you're going to really love until you get in there and do it.
Right.
It's one of those I like for messy things, like for alcohol inks, I do a whole day. Like
Mhm.
I do it all day. I do all one day because I want to make sure I got all the stuff out. I'm dressed and ready to go and So
Yeah.
yeah. Yep. Oh, depends on the stamp for critter or floral and everybody's saying hello and hi Sherry. Hello. So what would you say is your forte? What you're known for in crafting?
Hi, Iram. I just seen her pop in. She's been
Yes.
great.
Said
We've
loving
had
the hair. Yes.
yes. Um,
Hello, Melly.
I'm going to assume ink blending, maybe stencils. They kind of go
I,
hand in hand. So I'm gonna guess ink blending.
I'm gonna think so because one of the questions was you're known for your ink
I'm known
blending.
for.
So, 'cause like I told you,
I
there's
don't
a
know about
rumor
that.
going around about you that you like ink
Oh,
blending. Is it true?
I don't know what people say about me, but
Do you have any suggestions? So let's say there's somebody that's either never tried ink blending, which I can't imagine, but because it's just so fun. But say there's somebody that hasn't tried it or is just beginning with ink blending. What do you have for tips on that?
um, let's see. Smooth cardstock.
Hmm.
That's number one. Very, very smooth cardstock will be your best friend. And slick surface, I guess would be my other tip. So that you can blend onto the cardstock with a nice smooth transition. But otherwise, trying to think it I do it so much, I forget to stop and think about, kind of going back to basics type of thing. But watching your pressure would be another one, like how hard you're pushing your hand down onto the cardstock. That's going to make a big difference because people always say, "Oh, I get brush marks or sponge marks," and that's really because you're pushing too hard down onto your cardstock with whatever tool you're using.
Yep,
I remember, sorry, my ear keeps popping when I talk.
that's okay.
It does this all the time.
As long as you're
Uh,
okay, no worries on this
oh yeah,
side.
no, I don't talk to anybody anymore. I stay at home. So no, I remember one time, and I still remember this tip when I first was getting into card making. One of the videos I watched that got me into ink blending was Jennifer McGuire. And her way of describing it was like helicopter over your paper. Like start moving your hand before you hit the paper. So it's
Yep.
already in motion. And I don't know, it just kind of my helicopter took off from there. So that was kind of always one of the tips that has stuck with me all this time.
Helicopter ink blending, I love it. It's a
No.
new we got neck warmers, we got helicopter ink blending,
Yeah.
we're setting some, what do we call that? What's that called? I can't think. Setting
Don't
some things people will follow. There we go.
trends?
Yes, trends.
Oh.
Thank you. And
But
now
I'm
you're
good at
you're a
charades, not
remember.
words.
We could play that. What's that? The word game, the word association game.
Dictionary. No, I'm
We
not
would
good at
do
that.
good. Yes. Now, do you have a crafty mantra?
It was funny. I think I actually just said something earlier today in a live. I I think what I had said was when in doubt, ink blend.
I
Was
like
one of
that.
them because I think they said when in doubt, use a rainbow. I'm like, oh, that's a good one too.
Yeah, I
Uh,
do like that one too. They're both
yeah, they're
when in
both good.
doubt, use an ink blended rainbow. I mean,
There you go, that too. Double it up. It really is. Whenever I'm just kind of stuck, if I have to get, a project made for maybe a release coming up and I'm just kind of staring at it, I'm like, okay, let's go ink blend, I guess. Cause I just, if I'm not in the mood for any other fancy techniques or trying something new, I'm like, I just love ink blending. So I'm going to stick with what I enjoy.
absolutely. How about your room? Do you organize by rainbow? You talked a lot about rainbow for do you organize that way or
No.
no? Because
No,
you do have rainbow behind you.
I
So
do. But there's like 5 different rainbows going on up there because I have cardstock from so many different companies. I tried it one time because I thought it looked really pretty when I seen somebody else do it. I'm like, oh, that's all the rainbow. And it was just not functional for me because I do work for so many different companies and videos that it was way too hard for me to find the cardstock. So, and I don't want to use a color that they don't carry, things like
yeah,
that. So, yeah, I separated mine by company and I don't know, I just really like it that way. When I'm making a card, regardless, I like to try and keep most of the products from that particular company.
yes.
It just to me, that's easier to find things instead of hunting these all down.
Yes. But see, so if a double rainbow's lucky, can you imagine how much 5 rainbows are? I mean, that's gotta be
Yeah.
super duper lucky. Like that's gotta be good mojo. Maybe that's your good crafty mojo. You have 5 rainbows.
Could be, yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, no, I don't really have I'm in a kitchen, so you can only do so much with the kitchen. I have well, no, I changed out my apples. I used to have apple decor over there in my kitchen, but
Oh.
now it's teal. It's teal.
Ooh.
But no, that wasn't it's so funny. Um, everything is teal in crafting industry. You see teal tape runners or teal whatever. Everything is teal. That's not really my color, but it was the only decent color I could find in curtains. And so it's just kind of a running joke between me and my sister. She's like, "So did you get teal?" I did. I mean, it's pretty, don't get me wrong, but I was like, "Yeah, I got teal."
And
So
yeah, I was just gonna say, Avril is the same. Amy Hill was in her kitchen for a while, and we named it the Kitchen
I
because it's
see
the craft
kitchen.
kitchen. So we call it the Kitchen. So there is a name that has been
I am
established for your craft room that's extra special. So
I didn't know that. I didn't know that it was a kitchen.
it's a kitchen. Yes, yep.
Kitchen.
Amy went from the basement to the kitchen to the attic. So
Oh
she moved on up. So we joke about that as well. But we also called it the kitchen when she was in. So yes,
my
it's a trending name.
Honestly, I like it though. I mean, yes, there's days I wish I had doors to shut and I
Yeah.
wish I could just block everybody out, but I really do like it because everybody comes in through the kitchen, in and out of the house. So whether it's my daughter coming in or her husband coming in from work. So I'm right here and I can be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
how's your day?" I can get in those conversations and my son's right over there. If he's doing something, I can see him. I'm like, it's the central hub. I
Yeah.
can know all things.
It keeps you involved.
It
Even though
does.
you're working, you're there,
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you're multitasking and you didn't even know it. So let's find out what's your most memorable project? And I know we talked about this a little, so it
Yeah.
can change, but today, what is your most memorable project you've created?
It will be back to that card we were talking about earlier that I should have changed the sentiment on. So there was a card I did a couple years ago, and it was inspired by Christina Warner. Um,
Oh,
yes, she had done some watercoloring with the Korean markers, and I can't remember what the technique was she called it, but it was a beautiful technique, so I was trying it, and I just happened to actually film it. I don't normally film, when I kinda start random projects like that, but I just happened I'm like, "Well, let's see what happens." And, so I did some ink smushing on it over a heat embossed image, and then I went back in with the markers, and I kinda colored in the areas. I don't even know how to explain it, but it was one of my most favorite cards, and I I don't think a lot when I'm adding sentiments. I just kinda grab something that I think is going to look good, and I grabbed a miss you sentiment, and I really wish I wouldn't have put that on there because I'm like, "Okay, well, now that's pretty specific on who you miss, and
Yeah.
who are you gonna send it to that's really going to appreciate it?" So I still have that card because I don't wanna get rid of it. I'm like, I should have, like you said, frame it because I love how that
Yes.
turned out. Christina actually shared it in one of her videos. I was like, "Well, that's
Oh
funny
my
because it was
gosh.
inspired from her."
That's
So it's really funny.
awesome though.
Came full circle.
And it really does, and that, it's wonderful to see, we're calling you guys our experts. It's wonderful to see that you guys as well are inspired by the work of, others. So and that's, I think, one of the best things about the retreat is as the day goes on and as people complete the projects, you get to see them. And
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
amazing. There are
all
just
the
no
all the
words.
teachers are so inspirational. I've been following them, so it was like, when I saw the lineup, I was like, "Oh, I'm with them, really?" Like, it's
That's what Erin said the other day. She's like, "No." She
woo,
said the same thing. She's like, "I'm in such great company and it's so
it
exciting
is.
and
They're
it's just gonna
so
be."
talented.
It
They
is
are.
all of you. Yes. I mean, oh my gosh, it's just going to be a day on point of inspiration and fun. And so don't forget, today's that last day to get that 165 price if you're able. We understand. Sometimes it's not, but maybe we'll see you at another retreat if you can't make this one for some reason. Keep in mind, these videos are recorded. You do get to keep them. They're all yours, and forever. There's no time limit on them. You get PDFs. And if you have questions after, you just email the instructor and they are happy to answer questions if you are just really struggling with what did we do here, and so yeah, so keep that in mind as well. So to finish our interview today, tell us a fun, weird, or interesting fact about you, something not really known. And see, this to me would be a really tough question. This would be really hard. So I don't know if is this a hard question for you?
It
There's
is.
another,
I
yeah.
almost feel like I should pull in a lifeline and ask my husband what's weird about me because he could probably list you off a whole string of things that are weird about me. But for me, I don't know. I That's a tough one. Um, Weird about me. Not really sure. Well, there's plenty of things that are weird, but
Or a fun or interesting fact. Something fun or interesting or unknown.
I buy a lot of Cheetos. I don't know, but I think a
You
lot of
love
my
Cheeto.
followers.
Okay. So are Cheetos your favorite food?
No, actually, it is not at all. That is more my son. That is my son. I guess I'm gonna use my son because he's the interesting one. I'm not. He,
Well, I disagree on that. You're very interesting. You're very fun. So I'm just
I don't
just putting that out
really
there.
have a life, so yeah. No, my son collects Cheeto bags and he draws Cheetos.
Amazingly.
So we're constantly buying Cheetos like all the time. I hear someone say they like Cheetos. I'm like, let me send you some bags, please.
So you've probably tried every Cheeto,
No,
every brand, every flavor, every no, no?
I
Oh,
am
you
not
just buy
trying
them.
those. We just buy them. I will not try that. They got some weird stuff out there.
They're getting a
They
little funky with some of the
they
flavors. Yeah,
smell
they
really
are going.
funky. He opens them,
Yeah.
and I'll be sitting here like, "What is that smell?" Because 'Cause he'll dump it in the garbage, like, before we can catch them. Because we do have some friends that'll eat some of those crazy stuff. So we try to catch it to rebag it because he wants to cut the bag apart and whatnot. So he'll throw them in the garbage can in my kitchen, which is, like, right in front of me, and I'm like, "What is that?" I have to take the garbage out.
What's
Uh,
your go-to snack? What's your go-to snack?
Actually they're like peppermints. They're these big ones are like jumbo sized peppermints. They're like a marshmallow peppermint, I think they're called, or something like that. They're not super peppermint,
Yep.
but I don't know, I always stock my drawer full of them and I just grab them, and that's typically what I'm eating when I'm working on cards and filming and stuff, is I have a little stash off on the side.
Oh, so you do keep them in your that's the next question. That was my next question is do you keep them in your workspace? Some people, I know Jen
Well,
never has she always has M&Ms. She's never had M&Ms on her desk. So I
well, I'm
don't
in the
have a stack
kitchen.
in here.
So I mean,
That's
this
true.
literally,
You're
I'm in the kitchen. So there's my mom just stopped over with 5 containers of Christmas goodies. So I mean, it's kind of always in my
that's
my
the
thing.
dangerous right now,
Like
man.
they
It's
stare at me.
dangerous. Yes, it is. Thank you so much. It has been so fun getting to because I've like I'm sure many have seen you out and about and seen the videos and seen the projects and love, love, love. But we don't get to ask you questions. We don't
Eh,
get to know all this interesting and fun. And you are fun, interesting. I don't think you're weird. So
I can be
you're
weird. It's okay.
amazing. You're awesome. So it's been very fun getting to know you and ask you questions. And hopefully, you guys got some of your questions out there answered while we were here today. You got to see the new haircut, which is
Yeah.
first
This
time
part.
here.
Wait, wrong side. Wrong side. There I am.
I like the flip kind of it. It goes over. I like that little yeah. It's
I'm in
very
a mirrored position. So I'm like, where's my hair? Okay.
it is hard on these videos because you point and you're like, oh no, it's the other.
Wait, wait.
I'm
No,
backwards. I'm always
it's
back.
somewhere.
Thank you so much. And don't forget, guys, today, again, that discount, it is the last day and it is mindful. I will put it in the thing because it's mindful, spelled out Full. There's the discount code to use for that. Make sure if you don't follow Mindy to make sure to follow because you never know what she's going to be creating and sharing. And we have the upcoming retreat. So keep that. I know it seems a long time away. March seems forever away, but let me tell you guys, it's going to be here before you know it. You're going to be crafting live with Mindy and the March Mindfulness Kit. So until next time, thank you all of you so much for being here with us, especially our special guest, Mindy. Thank you so much for joining us. And
Thank you.
to all of you out there from Alt New, thank you for allowing us to help you craft your life. We'll see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.
Bye.